Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Journey to Purpose. With me today, I have the truly amazing Mikael Avatar. He was born clinically dead for 45 minutes with cerebral palsy. He shattered that with a Paralympic world record in 1996. You've had 20,000 plus coaching hours, and you have the Mikael Avatar method, which is daily 1% pauses that rebuild joy, fire, and unbreakable legacy. And now from Thailand, you are building, you have launched, the Avatar Resurrection app. And I love your motto, which we'll get to as well, which is one breath at a time, born dead, choose to burn bright. Mikael, it really is a privilege to have you here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. This is really interesting to be able to talk to you, Philippa. Thank you.
Well, the pleasure really is all mine. But first, a very easy question. So you're in Thailand. Where in Thailand are you currently?
I'm east of Bangkok in the Rayong province. It's near this island called Kusamet.
I know it.
Big Packers Island. It's quite big Packers Island that everybody went to. So I'm very close to that.
Very nice. Oh, I'm very jealous. I could do with some sun at the moment as well.
So how did I end up here?
Yeah.
The short version is when you have cerebral palsy, you shake your body for 40 years, you get pain, cramp, and all this stuff. And I went on a vacation here, and after 5 days, I was pain-free.
Oh, wow.
And then I went back to Sweden, and I got back my pain, even it was summertime. So I just decided, why should I live in Sweden with pain when I can live in Thailand pain-free? So I just moved here. That's why I'm here. And this area have the best stable temperature the whole year round. So it's perfect for me. Perfect.
I mean, people move to Thailand for less sort of worthy reasons. So but I think, do you know what it is that is it the combination of the climate and the temperature that reduces your pain?
I think the climate, the temperature, but the humidity too. Because
Interesting.
I've been to India a lot, and that's much drier but hotter. But the pain don't disappear. It's that the humidity is better for that here.
That I did not know that. Every day is a school day. So, your motto then, the first thing I want to talk about is your motto, born dead, choose to burn bright. So can you take us right back to the beginning? And, you talk about you were dead for 45 minutes. What do you know about that? How do you remember anything? And how does that sort of influence where you are now?
I don't remember so much. I used to joke about it and say like this, most people come to this planet, they just pop out, start living. I thought I needed 45 minutes to think. Should I really come to this crazy planet? but really, it was very terrible. My mother was hit badly, and I was born premature 1 month before, and I was dead. So they really left me by the dead children at the hospital, and the nurse passed around 30, 45 minutes. They really don't know, and they saw me breathing.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and all the doctors were there, and I survived. And my mom thanks the doctor for this, and the doctor said, don't thank me yet, because if you have been dead, not breathing for that long time, normally you can't eat by yourself, turn in the bed by yourself. you're in a wheelchair or whatever. It's a very limited life. But the doctor was wrong. I lived a normal, kind of normal life, but not a normal life.
An extraordinary life, I would say, from all the things. I mean, that's a lot of pressure, though, and I don't know if you remember or if you know, as a parent being told that basically your child won't live a normal life, that's quite a message to deliver. Do you feel that your mum heard that and went, no way, that's not going to be my child? Or do you was there a process that she had to go through as well?
I didn't hold, there was a gap in the internet, but my mom was a very special character. She helps a lot of people all her life. And we have people from India living with us when I was 7 years old. They lived with us for 4.5 years. So we had a lot of people around me. So when I grew up, nobody had time to learn me how to be like a person with cerebral palsy. They had no clue. And then my brother, he started with drugs very early, so the focus was on him and not on my cerebral palsy. So I kind of grew up without knowing I was different. So, but all these people that we helped, and the Indian people went to Stockholm University. I have had the best coaching school you can have, because I have a lot of people and they have different system, different thinking, and I was growing up in that world. And then I had a fantastic mentor from Egypt. We can talk about him later. So my mom was like, saw the world so differently. So that's why I think I still am free in my heart.
That's amazing. I think it's a really good lesson, though, because there are two things there about that. One is like you didn't know and sort of knew how to teach you about cerebral palsy, but that's like that could have gone one of two ways. It could have been like your needs weren't met and it would have been terrible. But in your scenario, it became this asset. But the other thing that occurred to me was, okay, so you didn't have to worry about the cerebral palsy type of thing, but you still did extraordinary things that people without cerebral palsy do. So you have broken a number of world records. You've been a Paralympian. So that is not normal by any standard anyway. So tell me, how did that come about?
But I wanted to be a mountain climber when I was 4 years old.
Amazing.
So I told my mom, I'm going to be a mountain climber when I grow up. And my mom told me, you can't make money on that. But she was so wrong. Because 20 years later, I had my first group. And we were at this big cliff. And I was the instructor. So I teach people how to climb. So I try to say to people, if you want to achieve something great, something totally big, it's only in your head. I wasn't the best long jumper in the world. I was the best with the ability to block everything out and focus 100% on one task. And that made me break the world record. And all these achievements in the sports world, that means something for a lot of people. But what is it really? I used to tell people I trained 15,000 hours. To be able to train 15,000 hours, you have to have two things. One, passion. I loved sports. When I went up 4 in the morning the snow was coming down, it was dark, and the moon was shining to the tree. I loved it, and I went home, showered, breakfast, went to school. I mean, that was my life. 10 years old, 15 years old, 20 years old. It was the best thing I ever done in my life. So passion, real passion. And then you have to have time. 5,000 hours, something happened. 10,000 hours, something else happened. 15,000 hours, then you are in the top 10 people in the world in any field. I have to point out this. So you start slow, make maybe 100 hours. If you still have the passion, take 500 hours, 1,000 hours, 5,000 hours. When you are done something 5,000 hours in your life, like podcast or cutting movies or whatever it is, you have a skill that can give you money. You don't need talent, you don't need knowledge, but if you have the passion to do something 5,000 hours, you can make money on it. If you do it for 10,000, you're probably in the top 1%. And if you continue, you will probably be in the top 50, top 10 people in the world. So it's passion and time. That's it.
I
It
mean,
was a long...
it's one of those things though. So one of the things we talk about, so you see in the coaching and self-improvement industry is that motivation only gets you so far, but discipline takes you all the way. Do you agree with that then? Because from your point of view, passion just kept you motivated and passion gave you that discipline. So is there an argument perhaps that actually if you don't have the discipline or the motivation, maybe the passion's not there, and why are you doing it?
I think I catch the question. The thing
Oh, sorry.
is you have to have the perspective too. I had a woman the other day, and she figured out how to go to the gym, but I can manage to go over the bump to get to the gym. And when I get back home, I'm happy. Okay, but that's only 70%. You will never continue the gym. You have to find the passion for the gym. And then we talk for an hour or whatever. And she told me she can lift her grandchildren much more easy. She can sit on the floor. But that's your angle. So if you
That's your why.
take the angle from your grandchildren, then you don't need the bump at the door at the gym.
Yeah.
So you understand? So when you have the passion angle, you don't need the motivation to go to the gym because you're going to the gym so you can carry your grandchildren. And that's not motivation. That's a passion. You understand?
Yeah, definitely. And maybe we have the wrong, motivations people have aren't their true passions. Hence the lady who wanted to go to the gym for her grandchildren, that was the real passion. Whereas even though we psychologically know that you should go to the gym to stay fit, that isn't the passion. I love that. That's a very simple way of reframing it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you obviously broke the world record in Atlanta in 1996 for long jump in the Paralympics, but you did a world record before that, I think, in England, in Nottingham. Is that correct?
Yeah, I did. They had the World Championship in Nottingham, 1991, I think it was. So there I broke my first world record in Nottingham, 91. I think it was June 99, 91. Atlanta was 96, and in August it's 30 years ago. It's incredible.
Goodness, doesn't time fly? So how did it feel the first time? Like what achieving that world record in Nottingham, did something in your mind switch and go, I can do it here, I can do it anywhere? Or was it just part of, if you're putting that much training in anyway, was it part of a natural process for you?
It's a bit tricky with the Paralympic sport or Nottingham Games because I hadn't qualified for my injury class. So it was a lot of testing. And so then they said, I'm in this cerebral palsy class. So that was the very important step for an international career as an athletic. So it was more focused on that, and then I trained for that for one more year. I didn't come to the Olympic in Barcelona, so I had like 4 years to the next one. But I was so focused, so I just continued training 4 more years and came to Atlanta. But for me to achieve this thing, I really thought, like you said, that something should happen, some miracle. So, so when I landed from Atlanta, I broke the world record. 98,000 people only. I mean, it's only a few people in the world who have ever done that. And I was so empty. I was really empty. And I know a lot of sportsmen who are high achieving people. They have this emptiness in them because we thought something magical or whatever should happen, but it didn't happen. So I was searching at the airport, where is this magic? But the only thing that come to me was the normal living. So what's the normal living? When you have running shoes and training, live at hotel, I had no clue. So I had to figure out a way to fill this passion with a new passion. But when I got distance from it, I understand it's a great achievement. It opens doors, I mean, everywhere, really everywhere. King's dinner in Sweden or whatever, because it's so unique. But when I was in that state of mind, I really thought anybody could do it. Anybody could do that. But I understand now it's very, very rare. So even if you train 15,000 hours, that's not enough. You have to have the thinking, the whatever. That
The
was a
mindset as
long,
well.
yeah, that was a long answer, but I think you understand what I mean.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's funny. I was in the army and I've done a number of marathons, not like to any great standard, just because I was physically fit. And then last year I did the marathon again, and I've not been in the army for a while. And the day before, I was really, really ill, like stomach upset ill. And the London Marathon hasn't got a timeout time. So I was like, well, I know I can finish it. I'm not going to have a massive achievement, but I know it's for charity. I know I can do it. So I ran it and I did like 6 hours or something, nothing amazing. And some of my friends were like, what, but like, why would you, like, you physically were really ill. I was like, but mentally, I knew I could do it. I knew I wasn't going to break records. I wasn't in it to break records, unlike you. I was there for a charity. I was there for a cause. And I think people underestimate how much of a lot of what we do is mindsets. And that's something that I guess you have honed into from the start, which the power of your own mind and getting you through this, but coupled with the training and the dedication.
Yeah, because the first thing that I found that I was passionate about was paintings, to do paintings. So I went to a painting course, and then I thought, oh, let's test this. So how do you test this? Well, I thought, okay, let's do 100 paintings. I'm not the new Picasso or whatever. I'm just a painter. So I painted 100. What happened? First of all, you have to schedule yourself to be painting. So there is the first conflict. And so I said from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock every Sunday, I will paint. That was it. Because then you learn your brain that on Sunday, 9 o'clock is painting. And after a certain time, the body and brain adjust to that. So even if I didn't paint, I was in the room painting. So that's very simple, because then you have the passion, you have the schedule, then you create this so you can paint. And then you have a reasonable goal like 100. Why not 50? Why 100? Yes, because 100, after 30, you have to start and sell paintings, because you can't store them everywhere, and the painting gets bigger and bigger, so you have to sell. What happens when you sell? Or how should I charge the painting? I'm not a good painter. So you have all these steps that you have to go through to 100. And I decided when I have painted 100, then I should decide, should I continue or should I stop? Because then I've been through the process of every step to be an artist. So it's
Amazing.
very simple
Well,
things.
it is, but again, it requires a level of, like you say, and it comes back to this passion. It requires a level of passion, but I guess it proves to you whether or not you have the passion. If you can stick it out, you get to 100 and you still love it, you've achieved a great thing. And I know we've got two things. One is your Mikael Avatar method, and that was the 1% daily pauses. But I feel this is kind of linked into because, the 1% every day, when it compounds over time. And that's the same principle, I think, with your, paint 100 things, do it 100 hours, 500 hours. So where did the Mikael Avatar kind of 1% pause come through?
I can't really pinpoint exactly where it started. Maybe it was the Indian people from India teaching me how to stop and reflect and how to think out, see the world in a different angle. Maybe it started there. Maybe it started when I wanted to be my mountaineer when I was 4 years old. But all this road led up to this, the Mikael Avatar method, the 1% shapes. What is that? We are living in a busy world. We are connected to the internet 24/7. We are bombarded with information, but we never take a step back and reflect. Am I doing the right things right now that are going to take me from A to B where I want to be? And we just do start, continue. I told people the day my passion for sport disappeared, that's the day I never go back. I have never been back. You have to cut when the passion is stopped. So the 1% method is about stepping back in the morning or 4 or 5 a day. Is this thing I'm doing right now? Is it going to take me closer to where I'm going? Number one. Number two, or maybe number two is number one. Does this make me happy? Am I doing things that make me happy? And is it taking me to where I want to go? And I'm still happy. That doesn't mean that there will be bumps in the road and all this stuff. But if you don't have the passion, you're not happy. You will not succeed. is impossible. But if you're happy and you have the passion, you don't even know that you went so far. You didn't even know. I have done my next adventure was cutting movies. I started because I met this German artist, and he lost his eyesight for cutting, so I had to take over his cutting. So
Wow.
I had to learn how to cut, and then I learned how to make YouTube movies and Instagram movies. So I made like 950 movies out there. If you're listening, you can find them, and some are very bad noise. Lights are terrible, but the message, what I'm talking about, have never changed. Never. Even if it's 10, 15-year-old movie, it have never changed.
Mm.
So now, I want people to take a step back. Am I doing things right now that makes me happy? Is this happiness taking me to where I want to be in 1 year, 5 year, 10 year? If it's no, why do you do it? Quit. When I discovered I was pain-free in Thailand, I quit Sweden. I
Yeah.
quit my studio. I divorced my wife because she didn't want to come here. I quit
Goodness.
Sweden. Yeah. And that was only 3 months later. 3 months later from my discovery, I was living in Thailand.
Wow.
And then I had to reinvent myself here in Thailand. I have been a life coach for my life. I started when I was 10 years old, training. So I had people training with me. So I read the book How to Train People when I was 10. That's 1978. 10 years later, I was their head coach for the Swedish national team for cerebral palsy. So I have coached people all my life. That's my biggest passion. I mean, to see people when it connects, when it's like,
Mm.
wow, now, now they have their own way where they're going. It's something magical. And that's why I do podcasts. That's why I do movies, videos, to get people to connect with themselves so they can change their direction. So the avatar method, you have 4 different steps. First step is awareness. Are you aware what you're doing? Are you aware where you're going? Are you aware how you do stuff in your life? So which foot do you put on your socks first? The left or the right? People have no clue. That's not important. The important thing is what happened in your life if you do the opposite. And do that for 2 weeks. What happened with your mind? But if I put the opposite here, why do I do that there? Because you start to see patterns in your life. You do it automatically. That's so be aware what are you really doing. So that's 1 plus. Then you have 2 in the middle. To align your goal with your true self and so on. But the last step, uh, this is a long story, but the last step, that's the most important stuff. Because when you reinvent you and you know which foot you put your socks on and so on, then you have to have an action plan. most people fail here. They think they want to be a painter when they retire. Don't do that. Don't think like that. Because it takes you, as I said before, probably 5,000 hours to paint before. I had this artist, he said, when I think of a picture in my head, I can do it in reality. When I started, I had the picture in my head, but it turned out something totally different. But now I can have a picture in my head and I can create it in the reality. That takes 10, maybe 15 years. So if you're gonna start when you retire, you're 65, then you're 90.
Did it?
So start.
Do you know what? So starting out, funny enough, I spoke to another podcast guest about this very thing a couple of weeks ago, and she was talking about rethinking retirement and how many people do exactly that. They wait until they retire to start these things, and her argument was you should never wait for different reasons. But it's kind of I have been shifting my life anyway. To kind of go, how do I want to live now and in retirement? And like you say, I don't want to wait till that point to start experiencing these things that I want to do. And it is all about timing, scheduling it in, passion for it. And I honestly think we are so caught up in the hustle and bustle. You said it, 24/7 online. We're missing out on living. So I love your message and I love the approach that you take to it. It is, and I think that ties into the app you've just launched as well. So your Avatar Resurrection app, 180 Days of Golden Pauses. That seems like a nice extension from what you've done already. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So I have this, I have been I have had so many masks in my life. So once I was a poet. So I even wrote a poet book, but I don't know where it is. But, so I have always written in my whole life. Notes, thinking, thoughts, and so on. And so I have wrote 2 books myself. And I thought, what should the third book be about? And then my friend came in and he wanted to do an app of something. And I was doing some stuff on my AI tools. And then I thought, oh, maybe I should take all my notes from 30, 40 years and put them in and do an app for my notes. And since I have been a researcher in cerebral palsy for 10 years, you hear I have a lot of strings in my life. So I wanted it to be evidence-based. How do I need to train from day one to open my eyes in my own world? And I wanted the app to be very personal for my work, with my notes. So it's like I was born, clinically dead for 45 minutes. I can feel the warm sand in my toes. How do you want your day to be today? Something like that. But it's evidence-based, so we can't really, if you never practice this, to take a step back, 30 seconds is a long time. 5 minutes, that's a eternity. 60 minutes, that's impossible. So the app starts with 30 seconds the first 2 days, 1 minute the day 3 and 4, and then it continues. So you can practice to reflect on your own world. Where are you going? and so on. And it's from my notes, different parts. So it's very, very unique, different kind of books, So,
Love that.
so it's live now. It had been live for a few weeks only, so it's really, really new. You can go to my website and you can find it there. It's totally free because I need people to test it out. It's like a beta version, and maybe it will be beta for the rest of my life. Who knows?
Why not? Who knows?
Yeah, but I think that's one of the best tools that you can do online and practice this awareness practice. Where are you going? Do you going to create with your life? Or are you going in the right direction? And so on.
No, I love that. And I think we don't take stock enough. So even if it is 30 seconds to start off with, that can be a very powerful 30 seconds as you grow.
Yeah, and it has all this. You have to write two sentences. You have to take like, how is my day today? Is it 1 star, 5 star? And all this technical stuff is there too. And if you don't do them, you can't go to the next day. You really have, this is not for
You have to
people who don't want to discover themselves. Don't go there.
it's not worth it. And so my last question for you then, Mikael, is you have done lots of things. Like you said, you have different hats, different faces. But who are you really? Like beyond the achievements and the drive that you have, who do you think you are?
The authentic Michael. The Mikael Avatar. Today I am myself 100%, 24/7. Because all these falls hiding behind the scene, there is nothing there. I can even say that I broke the world record, but there were nothing there, nothing I wanted. I wanted this pure, when I finished the painting and I put the painting on the wall, and I don't see it for a month, and I come back, did I really do that? I mean, that's more magic than anything else I do. It's like, wow. You understand? And that's me going through life, experience all the different things that happening around me all the time. And that's me. And my message is, can I do this? Can you do this? And I want to give people perspective because I haven't lived an easy life, but I have achieved a lot of things. But if you can get something from this interview that will change your direction or some input that, wow, I hadn't thought about that. That's my way of opening hope for different people. That's me.
Thank you. That's amazing. Mikael, it's been a real privilege. If people want to find you, connect with you, find your app, where can they go?
They can go to michaelavatar.com, and it's Michael with a K, michaelavatar.com. You have a free app there. You have to scroll down a bit, especially on the mobile, and you have even my second book that you can read there free with all these steps what I've been talking about. They are in there also free. So
Amazing.
michaelavatar.com, Michael with a K.
michaelavatar.com with a K. We'll put it in the show notes as well. Thank you ever so much for coming on, for sharing your story and for the work you do to keep inspiring others. It's been a real privilege. Thank you.
Thank you, Philippa.